Joining us now in studio, as he normally does on Mondays, is Matt Melzak. And Matt, we had all this hype this past week about what they were calling the baby bird, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, and Ryan Kreidler. And the three of them came up from AA Erie. And this week, we can understand why there's so much excitement about these three young players.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Mark. They are as talented as it gets throughout the Tigers organization. I think there's added excitement because, you know, over the last couple of years, we've seen, you know, more on the pitching side go up to Detroit. I mean, unfortunately, we lost last year, so we didn't get to see Casey Mize, Tarek Skubal, which we would have seen here in Toledo. But now we saw Matt Manning earlier this year, but this is that first time we're really getting to see, you know, a #1 overall pick in Spencer Torkelson. Another guy, a first-round pick from the previous year in Riley Green. And you see the talent that these guys have. Ryan Kreidler, under the radar, fourth-round pick of a couple of years ago, doing pretty well, and he had a great first week in Toledo, really carrying over what he had done in the previous month at Erie. So, I mean, just seeing those guys in that position, and then looking at some of those nights where we're seeing an infield that had Isak Paredes at third, Ryan Kreidler at short, Cody Clemens at second, Spencer Torkelson at first, Riley Green in right field or center, wherever you want to play him there. All of a sudden you're thinking, man, this is what the Tigers could look like maybe as soon as next year. I mean, that's how talented this group of players are that we're getting a chance to see right here in Toledo. I think that was what built a lot of excitement this week, and getting a chance to witness them each day was phenomenal.
And I think one of the things I appreciate about Ryan Kreidler, he's, you know, the least heralded of the three. He's perhaps been the most consistent this week, but when you talk to him, he's always deflecting that praise. He's always talking about Spencer and Riley and Brady Policelli. So he's always wants to talk about his teammates, not necessarily a me first type of guy. You kind of touched on it with Isak Paredes. We've also seen Derek Hill in Toledo this week, Akil Badu. We had Daz Cameron doing a rehab assignment, Matt Boyd. So it's been a very fascinating blend of true prospects and Tigers players on rehab assignments that you've really seen a major league quality team in Toledo.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Mark, on Monday and Tuesday, it probably wasn't fair for Indianapolis with the lineup that was run out by the Mud Hens. When you were looking at, you know, seeing Akil Badu in there, and, you know, I mean, it was just a loaded lineup for the Mud Hens. And it was fun to watch all week long, really. And Akil looks like he's certainly ready to go. Derek Hill obviously was good to go because he's played for the Tigers the last couple days. So, you know, he obviously got his rehab done. He's ready to move on. You're right. We've had Matt Boyd. We had Matt Boyd for 2 starts now. He's scheduled to get a third one this week, probably looking at tomorrow. We could be seeing Eric Koss here soon. So there's so many things on that rehab train. And then to go along with the prospects, it's just been a fun time to be a Mud Hens fan.
Speaking of this week, St. Paul comes to town. First time the Hens and Saints will hook up, and what a time for that hookup, as the Hens just a half game ahead of St. Paul. And as hot as Toledo's been, St. Paul's been even hotter, as they have really come in and made this a 3-team race in the AAA East Midwest Division.
Yeah, they're on that streak right now that we saw the Mud Hens on, that started in June and kind of carried through July. Remember how good the Mud Hens were in the month of July? They gained all that ground on Omaha when finally were able to catch them. That's been the same track for St. Paul basically over the last month or so, where they've been red hot. And it seems like every series they're winning them 4-2, 5-1. And then that pushes you up very quickly over the course of the standings. This is a very good St. Paul Saints team. Now we'll see. When you look at their roster, it's loaded right now, but obviously the Twins have some holes there. They need a starting pitcher, with Maeda getting hurt this past start, so they're going to probably lose a starting pitcher at some point this week. Who knows who it might be? Maybe it's the young man they got from Tampa Bay and Joe Ryan. We'll see. You know, but there's some moving parts always with lineups and different times of the year when you see teams. Unfortunately for Toledo, they're seeing St. Paul at a great time for their lineup. They're very full of prospects right now. They got a lot of really good players all the way up and down their lineup. So this is going to be a great test. This is going to be a fun series for 6 games in downtown Toledo.